Hi, everyone. We're here on a Wednesday, November 14th, pre-K to mastery. We've got some lovely settings, palm trees and warm weather down here in sunny Southwest Florida. We're not going to bring that up too much with our northern friends because they're going to be very bitter. But I did wear the sunshine today, Hank. I wanted everybody to feel very sunny. But you know what we're going to be sunny about and very upbeat about is we're going to be talking about goal setting and business planning. It is November, and as everybody knows, you get the jump on 2019 when you start to plan ahead. Being proactive is part of every business plan, especially in real estate. And we are so lucky after our visit last week into West Springfield, Massachusetts, to have the lovely Kelly Duncan-Smith and Tracy Gagne and Hammer and Hank Bertodatto down here in Southwest Florida, our panel. I am Kevin Debs. We're going to go right into it. Kelly Duncan-Smith, you've been so successful for 25 years. You know how important goal setting and business planning is, putting one foot in front of the other and having everything in front of you, right? A hockey goalie cannot possibly defend the goal if all the pucks are behind him. So with that being said, and I wasn't making a reference to the winter weather up there, would you please lead us off and tell us a little bit about what has been strategic for you with goal setting?
Okay, so first off, when you're setting, this is the time of year, you want to set your goals in November. This is our anniversary. This is our New Year's in real estate, because come November 1st to November 15th, anything from this point forward that we close on is most likely going to be a 2019 closing. So our anniversary, our New Year's Eve is, the first couple of weeks in November. With that being said, in order to achieve your goals, you need to have a clear roadmap of where you're going. Because it's like, I'm sorry guys, but I'm going to reference them. If Tom Brady got out on the field and they didn't practice before they went out, they didn't have a direct roadmap of exactly what they were going to do, they would just be throwing balls all over the field. So you need to know where you're going. Like if you want to sell 10 houses this year, if you want to sell one a month, 12 houses, if you want to sell 250 houses, the goal, the planning is still the same. You just need to write out exactly what you're going to do. You need to put it back, and now you know, like, okay, in the first quarter is a slower quarter up north. Second and third quarter are much heavy hitters. And fourth quarter is a slower quarter. So when you're setting your goals, you can't say, well, I'm going to close 120 houses this year, and I'm going to do 10 a month. That's not really realistic. You want to say, I'm going to close 120 houses this year. I'm going to close 30 a quarter. However, you're going to know that your second and third quarter is where you're going to sell 80 of that 120. So you need to be cognizant of that when you're setting your goals, because if you get to the beginning of the fourth quarter and you're like, oh good, I'm right on track, I have 90 houses I've closed on and I've got 30 left to go, and then the holidays hit and all of a sudden you missed your goal and you end up closing on 104 for the year instead of 120. So it's really important to know exactly where you are at all times and keep a vivid record of where you're going and what your goals are. And how many, like I know that I'm going to close 20, say the first quarter, and then 40 and 40, and then another 20. And that's like really important, because people screw that up all the time because we just say a certain number and we think it's 10 per month. It's not. Alan, I know just went through goal setting and business planning, and I would love to pass the baton to him because I really want to be a student right now.
Alan, it's time to be the teacher. Kelly, that was great. And before Alan goes, one thing I would just add as a compliment to that, when you set those goals, right, if you can break it down quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, those goals don't seem so daunting. And then you start to create your daily discipline. You can even get as far forensically into the hourly, right? Setting a schedule, setting what you have to do every day. Because a lot of times we set goals, right? Whether it be our diets, whether it be our, the things that we want to do, the New Year's resolutions that are coming up. I want to hit certain amount of goals in my business. If you just look at that number every day and you don't chip away at it, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, it's February now. I still have the same goal. So you got to kind of work backwards to say, okay, I can break this down on an hourly basis. And, that's the preparation you talk about athletically, right? Those athletes start prepping on little things. That builds up to a bigger thing. And then by the time they get to the bigger thing, they're already past it or setting a new goal. So Alan, I didn't want to steal any thunder. You are now the teacher. we serve at the pleasure of Alan. Go ahead, Alan. Tell us about goal setting and the business planning.
I love hearing that. Geez, that's great. Well, we just went over this last weekend, and the biggest thing I think for my agents was doing the allocation form and finding out exactly how much money they need. That was a huge eye-opener for them, because that's going to teach them how many transactions they have to have in that year to take care of the bills and have a good life. So by doing that and spending some time on that, it was definitely an eye-opener for them. And then off the allocation form, we can base and figure out exactly what we have to do throughout the year to make sure that they're hitting their goals. So that was big for them. This week, we're working on our calendars. So we have our allocation form. Now we're going to figure out what we have to do throughout the year to make this happen. 411s are being done, our 135s. Everything's being based off of that allocation form, though. That's huge.
And
Explain
Alan,
what that is.
yeah, I was going to say, good call, Kelly.
Oh, my apologies. So our allocation form, basically, I don't have one in front of me or else I would show you. What that does is it breaks down everything: monthly bills, vacations, business expenses. Macy's got a slight picture of one right there. That's hers. And off of Macy's, we were able to determine that she really needs to sell about 40 homes in the coming year to take care of the family and to make sure that they have a comfortable year.
And then just, I think also further, the 411 and the 135. I imagine the 135 is the 1, 3, and 5 year projection, and the 411 is sort of a quarterly, monthly, weekly thing.
I could see Tracy wanting to jump in on that, but our 411 basically breaks down what we need to do weekly, monthly, and yearly. And it's basing it off of a certain goal. So we're going to have our agents set a goal of, say, 24 transactions for the year. And then off of that, we're able to base how many, what they have to do for the next 4 weeks in that month and all the months in the year. So how many buyer's consults they have to go on, how many contacts they have to make every day, every week, every month. And that's going to help them set up their year, their 2019. And just like Kelly said, that was our topic of discussion, was our year is coming to an end very quickly. In fact, it ends tomorrow. So anything after tomorrow is being pushed off towards 2019.
Okay, wonderful. Tracy, did you want to, since you and Alan work so well together, he could sense that you maybe wanted to add a few things. Would you like
I started wanting to jump in there.
I just have my business. What basically boils down to is you're creating a business plan for the year, right? Goal setting is creating your business plan. And we are all in business when we get our real estate license and we join a brokerage, right? So your 135, your 1 is your big goal, okay? That's your massive goal. Your 3 is your 3 priorities that are going to help you get there, okay? And then your 5 is your 5 strategies that you're going to utilize to get you to your priority, which will then get you to your goal. So it really breaks it down. And then you bring your 411 in, which is a weekly, monthly, yearly strategy session that bounces off of your 135. So,
Can you make an example, Tracy?
Okay, so say you want to do 100 transactions. Okay, we're just going to use round numbers. So in order to do 100 transactions, you know that you have to do, I don't know how many it breaks down a month. But
Do 120 because it's easy math.
or 120. So anyways, what you do is you break down how many needs to happen per month to get you to that 120. And then you have to break down the strategies that you're going to utilize to get you to that quarterly goal or that monthly goal. And then you're going to write down your items, your action items, which will in fact get you to that strategy piece in terms of writing down sticking to it. If you do that and you work on your 80-20, 20% of everything you do is going to grant you the 80% of the results. So if you stick to that, you're going to actually be able to maximize your time, maximize your efforts, and actually be able to increase those goal forms because you are truly following your system and following your business plan. If you
So
don't,
time blocking.
time blocking is massive. If you don't follow that, then you're actually setting yourself behind, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a squirrel girl. Like anytime, any shiny object, I'm like, well, let's talk about this. Let's do this. Look at this system. Look at this. And so if I don't actually really manage my time, I am pulled off in a million different directions. And then I have to go back and actually make up time at the end of the day, which is what I don't like to do, because I like my business hours are my business hours. I don't work after 5 o'clock, and I tend to not work on weekends unless I have something of priority that I have to get done. So if you can manage this at a high level, you're going to have work-life balance. And that's what we all strive for.
Makes total sense. And before I go to Hank, one thing that people kind of do sometimes, and especially since we're coming upon, the beginning of the year, a lot of times people don't take a look at themselves and see how they're defined, like what makes them tick. What would be a good thing to describe Tracy or Kelly or Kevin or Hank or Alan or any of the panelists here? If you can define, and not to pigeonhole yourself, you certainly, personalities are certainly wide and diverse and colorful. But if you have a sense of what your purpose is, what your why is, and you can go into that and then sort of blend that over your goal setting and your business planning, it's going to align with, as you said, in the 5 part of it. What are the qualities? What are the things that you bring to the table that you think are your strengths? And what are your areas of development and things that you'd like to work on in the course of the year? And does that help you get to those goals faster? Does it make you more efficient when you understand what you bring to the table and how you see yourself and how others see you? So with that, I will switch to the loveliest setting we have on the panel right now, palm trees and paradise, Mr. Hank Bertodatto. Oh, he's giving it to us good. That looks live in palm trees. So, Hank, your goals seem very defined right now. It is palm trees and paradise. So if you could elaborate a little bit about what you bring to the table, certainly as your ability to teach, coach, and mentor. I know you've been over this, so just give us a little 2 cents here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. And a lot of good things have been said. And sorry, it's a little dark for me because it's so light and bright here and 82 degrees
Thanks.
in Southwest Florida.
We're
I
feeling
know you
so
guys are all
sorry
hating
for
me.
you for the blackout.
I
Really
bring out
sorry.
the palm
Tribe of
trees.
North is dying, right?
Yeah, well, there's the palm trees and the golf course, But actually, I want to tie all this behind me into your big why. And then I'll kind of play off of that. So the big why is, if you do not know what you are working for, then why are you working? Why are you doing what you're doing? You have to define what your why is. That is the number one most important thing. Because if you don't know why you're going out there and trudging every single day and dealing with what we deal with as realtors, then this is all for nothing. So you have to find out what that why is. You have to work towards that. And then again, use the system tools we've been talking about to reverse engineer to get to your big why. So, the biggest thing for me is I've got 2 boys and a 3rd one on the way. My big why is those boys and their financial freedom in the future. That's what I want to do. And I am working for that. If they want to go to college, great, it's going to be paid for. If they want to, pursue this or pursue that, great, it's going to be paid for. If we want to go on big family vacations, great, it's going to be paid for. But I cannot do that without breaking down my yearly, my monthly, my weekly goals, and even my daily goals. And one thing I want to say is so many agents have their plan in their heads. Well, that's great.
Write it down.
But if you do not write it down, exactly, Kelly, if you do not write it down, then we do not see it. And if we do not see it, then we're not working towards it. So you have to write it down. You have to set it up. Put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it every single day. That is super important because it is a mindset. It's holding yourself accountable. Look, we can all hold you accountable, but we can't do your business for you. You have to do it. So you have to write it down. You have to put it up. And one other thing I will tell you is that all we're talking about, so the 401, the 135, we will put these documents into the comments section when we post this video so that everyone can have access to them, and then ask us, hey, Hank, how do you fill this out? Hey, Tracy, do you mind setting, a 30-minute session with me so we can fill this out? Great. Yes, let's do that. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we want to help you reach your goals. And you can only do that by writing it down, knowing what your big why is, and then we can actually move forward. Because until then, your 2019 is going to be total chaos and squirrels and rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. So,
Wow.
let's make this happen.
The only place where rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies look like they could be possible is right behind Hank, which is fantastic. So let's think about this. Just to recap here before we start to get into a little bit more of the elective and some questions. It's defining yourself. What is the why? Why are you doing this? And then starting to layer that into a 411, a 135, some things that if you can measure it, it's worth doing. And preparation, right? We talked about it. You know, and it's something we say is a consistent theme with every pre-K to mastery, following up. So in this case, following up with yourself, right? If you're not on track to reach your goals, what is that within the living, breathing thing that is your goal setting and your business planning that you need to delegate? You need to be more strategic in your thought. Where did you take missteps? Don't just look at it at the beginning of the year and at the end of the month and then the end of the month. Be fluid with that, because you guys are going to see your goals evolve and obviously see how the path that you're going to get there evolve. And I think that's very important. And I think those are the things that when you're proactive and you're setting this up, like we're talking about the timing of the year, you have a much better chance of being successful if you define your why, what you're doing, write it down, follow up with yourself, and treat this like a positive, fun experience. Because the closer everybody gets, there's nobody on this panel that doesn't get a charge out of converting a sale, doesn't get a charge out of attracting somebody to their business model, doesn't get a charge out of somebody improving themselves because of the information they share. You think about those things, that adds to your goals, and that adds to your performance, and that adds to you getting to where you want to be in your business plan. So without further ado, I think Kelly would like to say something else. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to add, when they say know your big why and have it in front of you, vision board, on the refrigerator, on the bathroom mirror. And this is a true example. In 2016, I came in from like shoveling off my big, beautiful deck in Massachusetts, overlooking the frozen lake. And I said, this is it. I am done. I'm not living like this anymore. I am moving to Florida for the winters. And I put a picture of a house with palm trees every single place, and it kept me on yes, it kept me on track constantly. I had it in my purse. I had it on my bathroom mirror. Everywhere I looked, I had a picture of a house with palm trees and an ocean in the background. And it kept me on track. Every time I started to go, squirrel, I was like, palm trees, get back on track, get back on track. And right now, my husband and I are in our townhouse in West Palm Beach, Florida. So if you write it down and you visit it every single day, every single way, and you time block and you color code and you keep yourself, as Tracy says, to the 40 hours a week, that box, and you stay diligent, you will achieve whatever it is that you want to. But you have to know that big why.
Yes, that is a great point. And the vision board is something that we're all kind of dancing around. Thank you for illustrating that. I did hear the big bark in the back. I do see Pat wandering around. The big dog is in the West Palm townhouse, which is great. So, before we open it up, if there's some questions, Tracy or Alan or Hank, is there anything else that you wanted to add that we missed in terms of goal setting and business planning that you think we've given everybody a pretty good blueprint that is tangible, that people can start on this, and it shouldn't seem too daunting to start getting through? But if anybody wants to add something before we go to Q&A, I will abruptly end this session.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Kel said. The vision boards are very, very powerful, and it will remind you daily on why you're doing what you're doing. So I know that on Saturday, Alan doesn't know this yet, but I've just made it a point that on Saturday, we're actually going to be doing our vision boards as a team together. So that way we can then hold each other accountable and know what the other person hopes to achieve by what they're going to be doing in the coming months. So doing that as a group, I feel, is going to be very beneficial for everybody. But if you don't have a group to do it with, just take some time, grab some magazines, and let your imagination run wild. Because you guys can accomplish absolutely anything if you put your minds to it. And if you are able to look at it on a daily basis and just say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. You will push yourself to do it, and you will push yourself to be better. So do yourself that one favor, create that vision board, take some time to formulate your business plan, and then go rock your life.
Yeah, hey, Kevin, let me jump in there too. So to piggyback on that, we actually do vision board parties down here. to where we do it from like 5 to 7. People bring like a little appetizer to share, and then the ladies bring in wine, and we're having a little cocktail hour while we're making our vision boards. We make it really fun. So, you know, you can do that, you know, and there's people in your area that are with you, you know, your company. Just do it. Get together. We'll do it. We'll host one here in Southwest Florida. Just let us know, and we make it fun and we make it exciting. And we're like, hey, you know, and we kind of hold each other accountable to those vision boards. You told me you wanted a new house. You told me you didn't want to rent anymore. You told me this, you told me that. So because of that, we hold each other accountable to those vision boards as well.
That makes total sense. And I think that's, you know, the vision that I have right now with Hank in the background. It's an excellent way to start things. So I would just say, if there's anybody who has Q&A, then I have a couple announcements, and then we will adjourn for our lovely Wednesday, so you guys can kick it today and fire it up. If anybody has a question or something to add, please speak up or raise your hand. If I can't see you, please by all means jump in.
Most of them are muted, you guys.
Yes, that was, yeah, you know, maybe that's why they haven't jumped in yet.
I figure I just got to do this before I can even.
No, you're on, Omar. You're on. You got it, honey.
You're on.
Omar.
All right.
So this is Omar's like second official day in real estate.
Wow.
And I've never seen somebody so pumped up except for Macy, who's sitting right next to him.
I love it.
My sister.
That's my baby brother. We're
Yeah.
gonna kill it.
These guys are going to absolutely slay 2019.
I love it. Second day, boy, you got your whole world ahead of you. You know, that's fantastic.
Excited.
Welcome.
We got a really
Welcome
good
to
team.
real estate. The water's warm. I think hopefully you had some takeaways from this, and it helps you kind of, you know, nobody better than Omar to be able to say in my day 2, what and kick off the year. So I would say, in the interest of time, because if you notice the palm trees in the back, they're starting to wilt because we're getting close.
Invite, please.
We'll
We
come
had such
visit.
an experience with that. We realize we interact with our entire community. We want that community to feel all the thoughtfulness and love that we have to share. And that was such a great night that Tracy and Kelly hosted, which we were so proud to be a part of up there. And then we think about what we have coming up here really quickly, right after the Thanksgiving holiday. Can't believe it's in a week. Come December 7th, I keep getting my months mixed up. We have a NET conference. It's Network Education and Technology. It is going to be at the Crown Plaza in Fort Myers here in Southwest Florida. We welcome everybody across the nation. It is such a fantastic day, and Hank is part of the presentation. Obviously, he goes through a little bit of our model, but there are speakers to talk about networking, education, and technology, and it's also an extension of what pre-K to mastery is. We're all looking to get smarter. We're all looking to be more efficient and strategic in our business and have a lot of fun. So that's part of our plan. We will keep you guys posted on that. We will be back here next week, Wednesday, same bat time at 10 a.m. Eastern. Anybody waking up on Legs and Eggs, the Pacific Coast, you got to get up. This is a great show. We'd love to have you. Without any further ado, I want to thank Kelly Duncan-Smith, Tracy Gagne, Alan Velasquez, who jumped in, Omar, his second day, and of course, Hammer and Hank Bertodatto with the palm trees. That's our episode. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.